Some reaction on the Chief Justice interviews. Day one, of course, research officer from CASAC, Dan Mafora, who happens to be attending these interviews today as well. CASAC, of course, has a big interest in this as one of those organizations in the country that looks to protect and defend our constitution. Dan, good afternoon. Just an overriding question first. So far from where you're sitting, the first part has happened. We're now going to be going into the afternoon stretch from 3 o'clock with Justice Mbuyiseni Madlanga. Your impressions, how are things going?
Good afternoon, Dan. It has been a very interesting session so far. I think some of the more thoughtful questions that we've seen the JSC put to candidates in the last year or so. There's been a lot of focus on, efficiencies and administrative efficiencies at the Constitutional Court, or administrative inefficiencies rather, and challenges that the court faces in relation to delays and how it processes cases and hands out judgments. And so we are seeing kind of a renewed focus on what the role of the Chief Justice is in ensuring that the court runs efficiently and delivers justice swiftly to litigants.
It's just very interesting as well to see that some of the commissioners were keen to ask around about the use of technology, digitization, and I think even the Justice Mbuyiseni Madlanga also mentioning YouTube at some point.
I think that the pandemic has kind of forced courts to adapt to the changing world, and we saw a lot of focus on how current court systems can be adapted or modernized to bring them in line with trends in the world, where we see more and more of court cases and other litigation being moved to online or virtual platforms. And I think it will still be an important topic going forward throughout the week, because of course we don't know what the situation will be a year from now or a few months from now, and we need to know that our judicial system can cope with the number of cases that are being filed in our courts, and that they are able to use online resources efficiently. And so we expect this to be a very big topic going forward.
Yeah, the issue of the term that you can only be a constitutional court judge for 12 years sort of came up because of the length that Judge Madlanga has already spent. But he did not seem to be overly concerned. How, in your view, did he handle that question?
So the question is something that CASAC raised in its submission, to say that because Justice Madlanga had been a judge before resigning and then going on to the bar, whether or not he would qualify under the Constitution for a term of 15 years. So the question really is about whether or not the years that he spent, the 5 years that he spent as a judge before resigning and heading back to the bar, should be counted in determining how long he has been a judge in total, because as you've just said, constitutional court judges can only be there for a non-renewable term of 12 years or 15 years, depending on whether or not they had been judges before. So this is an important question that I think he handled quite well, and kind of left it open for the commissioners themselves to decide. I think that it might also come up when we resume in the afternoon, and hopefully we will start to get some clarity or an indication of how the commissioners are thinking about it.
Yeah, one of the snippets we've pulled out here at eNCA as a media covering it today is his reference to the fact that it looks like wealthy white South Africans do not want their matters adjudicated by black judges because they don't have confidence in them. And he said if he became successful as a Chief Justice, he would like to address this. What should we make of this?
So I think that it's certainly one of the interesting answers that he gave this morning. And I mean, it's been a topic in legal circles for a while. that commercial matters or large and complex commercial matters were kind of moving in a direction where these parties would opt for arbitration instead of going to court. And that was a serious challenge that was raised in previous interviews, especially for the Gauteng High Court, which of course is where the Johannesburg High Court is, where a lot of these matters fall under the jurisdiction of that court. And you will remember as well, back in 2016, I think, that they established the commercial court in Johannesburg to try and get those matters back in the courts and to help develop the skills that these judges have. And so I think it is a very interesting point that he raised, and certainly something that might become a recurring issue.
Yeah, thank you very much for your insights. Dan Mafora will have to let you go to get ready. He's, of course, a research officer at CASAC. He's going to be getting ready for the next half hour at 3 o'clock when the interviews resume. Now,